So let's do first 10 minutes English, last 5 minutes Afrikaans for Rassie. Happy, Mike?
Rassie, not a perfect performance, but is that the kind of game that you want, the kind of workout you want in this preparatory block?
Yeah, no, it's frustrated. It was a very frustrating game, and it's when they leave a couple of the big names home. You expect this kind of down in the gutters fight because it's young guys who really doesn't have anything to lose. But we knew they would man up, and they certainly manned up in most departments: scrums, mauling, defense, attack. So no, it was a proper test match. When we were 28, 3 or whatever up, and we scored a try and there was obstruction, and then we lost some momentum, and so it was a frustrating performance, to be honest.
But a game you'd rather have now at this stage of the season?
Yes, not with that team we put out, because there's not a lot of guys there that's new to it. Krappies was new, here and there. Jan Hendrik was new. So I don't think we have too many excuses. So yeah, I'd rather have it now. You're right. And still I don't know how many. Was it a 15-point game, a 20-point game? I'm not sure. But certainly it makes the selection for next week interesting, because they could have easily at the end come back into it if one or two of their tries were disallowed. So a bit of luck, and one of our tries also disallowed. But they performed really well, and we definitely tried to impose our way of playing on them, and they didn't allow it.
Rassie, part of that frustration must be the lineouts in that second half, especially. That wasn't up to you guys' standards.
Yeah, I think overall, and it's different guys who knock on the ball, and it's likely 5 different guys knock on the ball. I made one mistake, but it's 5 in total. If you miss a line-out jump here and there, or throw here and there, so it was just a hell of a lot of mistakes. And I would love to pinpoint what's the reason for that. We're still glad that we won. I really couldn't pick up in the week that this is how we're going to perform, but maybe that's a sign that you must never think that you're all set in the game. But yes, it's luckily all fixable. But yes, frustrating.
Rassie, were you guys caught out a little bit by that sort of impressive rush defence that they put on you there? Sort of a defence that you guys are more known for, to smother other teams. But Italy did it quite well today.
They did. I don't know how many tries did we score?
6.
Yeah, so if you score 6 tries against the rush defence, you're doing pretty well. But we practice every day against the rush defence, so they certainly got the Minancello, the 10 was brave, the 9 was brave, all 3 loose forwards was brave. I think half time they made almost 120 tackles, and you'll think then somewhere they'll give in, but then they turned up the heat in the second half. So yes, the rush defence was something we expected. I think we could have scored a few more tries, but 6 is not too bad. But yeah, they defended well.
And Rassie, normally when you send on your bomb squad, things change and the momentum shifts, and that didn't happen today. Did that also disappoint you, or did it surprise you?
Yeah, I think we sent that on because in the first 10 minutes of the second half it was like stop start, then a prop was down, and then the line out, then a try was disallowed, and then it was a wait a little bit, and just didn't feel they get intensity into the game in the second half. And being that stoppages, I'm not saying they're doing that, we also had stoppages, and yeah, we tried to most, because the guys we put on apart from RG, was not really bigger guys than Wilco. Vincent is not bigger. Bongi and Malcolm is more or less the same size. Jan Hendrik, he's a youngster coming into them. He's not a. So we tried to get the intensity and the speed up a little bit. Kwaga certainly made a little bit of a difference when he came on. So yeah, the frustrating part was not just not dominating, but also the game was stop start. It just didn't feel like we got any intensity into the second half, which was frustrating.
John?
Rassie, just a word on the defence. You guys scrambled well, but conceding 4 tries in the second half must be frustrating.
Yeah, it is, and what they did really well with our ball was legally, not illegally, slowing it down and holding us up in the tackles a little bit, and we attacked from, I thought, from slow ruck ball, and then the tries that they scored were quick, and we never got to actually set, and they got real good momentum. And that was the frustrating part. They seemed to be able to switch on and off from a break of 3-4 minutes with the injury, and then they switched back straight on, which we didn't do. So yeah, I thought obviously that's worrying to concede 4 tries.
Yeah.
Rassie, we spoke obviously a little about the negatives now, but what do you take as positives out of the game?
I think that we I don't know how many changes that we made. The positive is we won. The positive is we scored 6 tries. Even with a maul that didn't function, even with a breakdown that wasn't great on attack, even with a counter attack that wasn't awesome, we still scored 6 tries. And we have to understand what the Italian team was put out here. There was really an energetic young bunch of guys, and we couldn't quite break them. And I think there was a stage like 10 minutes into the second half where if a try was allowed just after that, we could have actually stretched a little bit. But I guess, I don't know, 43, 45, how many points did we get? 42 points is not too bad, but I guess if it was 42-10 or something like that, but I thought everybody would expect us to beat them more proper. But we scored 6 tries, and I guess the good thing is we're frustrated that we didn't score more. So I guess that's a positive, Brendan.
Jesse, you called it on Friday when you said the rugby world was crazy to think it would be just a complete write-off of Italy. On the field itself, how did you find the game unfolding?
Yeah, I think like Rassie's mentioned, Italy they're an extremely passionate nation, and I think they pitched up here tonight very energetic, and I think that showed in their play. We didn't get exactly what we wanted with all the quick ball on attack, and then in defence as well. I think, obviously not happy with those 4 tries. But like Rassie said again, we got the win, and there's a lot of things for us to work on. I think we drive extremely high standards in the squad, so we'll get to PE and work on plans for next week. But definitely a lot for us to work on.
Coach, you mentioned that it might now inform what will happen tonight, might inform next week. In which way is that going to inform your decision for the team next week?
Well, internally we've our sort of 13, 14 guys that we said, listen, you'll definitely get next week a run. But then now we build the bench or starting lineup around those guys, because some of those 13 or 14 guys that we already announced for next week internally, some of them might move to the bench. Some of the real standout players that play today, we might give a start again. So we won't discard the guys who played there, just the makeup of the team, handling what Italy threw at us, because they threw a lot of physicality at us. I mean, normally teams, if you make 120 tackles in the first half, you'll think they break in the second half. So it's a team that's fit and passionate, and we'll have to make sure the team that we put next week on Port Elizabeth is not just a team that can go 50, 60 minutes. It must be a team that can go 80 minutes. So it will be the bulk of the guys that we nominated last week. It's just the other 9 guys that we must pick as are we going to pick them in the starting line of the bench, some stability there. But obviously guys like Sasha will be back and those kind of things. It's just now who will be the other 9, maybe playing with a guy like Kobus or with Grant back. So we'll just have to fine tune now. Take stock of the injuries. I think just Damien Dalenda had a bit of a hamstring. Other than that, no real serious injuries, just a few bruises and egos.
Coach, you had a very experienced team out there, but in the midst of all of that, there was a debutant in Vincent Chituka. How would you assess his first official cap as a Springbok? Do you see what you wanted to see? What are some of the things that you'd like to see him work on as he integrates into the Springbok?
I think you now know what test rugby is like. He's played the game, he started the game. Again, I think he was very busy. I think, not that it's my place here to talk about players' individual things until we've chatted to them, but I think he certainly was not standing back if you compare to the rest of the Springbok team playing today. He was on the same physical level, but I don't think at all our physicality or our intensity was where it should be, and that includes Vincent. But not because we single him out, because I thought the whole team, but he's got a bright future, and he's starting to get into the roles and understanding what we want to do. But you know, those things, I'm not talking just about Vincent. All 8 must scrum, all 8 must maul, all 8 must contest in a line out, all 8 must work at a breakdown. And we didn't do that well today. But well, he's got a good future ahead of him. So yeah, I think he can be fairly happy with how he's gone so far.
Last English question.
Hi, Rassie. Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations on the win. You said in the week, and you've said this for years, you don't measure your success on the scoreline, you measure it in a lot more detail when you go through the review.
Yeah.
With that in mind, is it going to be a hard review this week?
Yeah, it's frustrating because it was really a lacquer week. It was like we into it and things went well and it was nice and physical, and I think maybe that we as coaches sometimes make a mistake with that, and I don't want to sound philosophical if that's the right word, but you feel, oh, we're ready for this game, but you know, you need to drive it even more when it's going so well during the week. So no, it's not the players who made the mistake, it's us as coaches who also didn't press the right buttons, do the right things during the week. So you know, we can't just point fingers of them, so we'll have to relook. And again, give Italy credit. Hell, they manned up and they flipping buckled down and gave it to us, you know, but we should have handled it much better. We'll start with our coaching staff to get that right.
Right, 3 or 4 Afrikaans questions?
Rassie,